Good day, everyone. This is Mark Schmidt, Superintendent of Schools for Staples Motley, providing a board report for Monday, July 16th, 2012. Excuse me. This was a regular school board meeting which took place at the Staples Motley High School Media Center. The meeting began with call to order. There was nobody presenting from the public at this meeting. The board then approved a long consent agenda item, and probably the main two reasons for the consent agenda items being so long was that there was a lot of petty cash approvals for cafeteria, community ed, auditorium, box office, those type of things that provides them some working cash for when they're taking receipts from or money from individuals. Excuse me. Then also there was a lot of contracts that were renewed. There was no changes to those contracts from the previous year, or very little changes. So those were contracts with different agencies for use of our facility or those type of things. We then moved to financial items. We approved the financial report and authorization to pay vouchers. Marcy Lord, our business manager, presented a summary sheet of various investments that the school district has its money invested in. In return, she changed from probably a 6, 7, 8 page document to a 1-page summary, and that is for efficiency, save paper, and ease of reading. Efficiencies are something that we touched a little bit about that night, as well as there's going to be a finance committee, as we have one less person in the business office with a reduction of John Moore's position. So we just need to be asking ourselves what are really the important things to be focusing on and what isn't, as we reduce personnel in the business office. Next, we removed Angela Pollock's name. She was our accounts receivable individual, and replaced it with Megan Martin, who is our new accounts receivable, and that allows her to take care of some deposits for banking. The board then moved to curriculum instruction. Curriculum instruction really dealt with a lot of cooperative disillusions and re-illusions or re-establishments of cooperative agreements. First one was dissolution of our hockey co-op with Wadena Deer Creek, Browerville, New York Mills. And the reason for that is Browerville was leaving that co-op, so we had to dissolve that along with the other districts, and then we reestablish a new cooperative with those same schools, with the exception of Browerville. So New York Mills, Wadena Deer Creek, and ourselves for a hockey co-op. Then the other co-op was a dissolution of a co-op with Verndale for tennis. Some time ago, Verndale had a student that wished to participate in our tennis program. That student is no longer over in Verndale, so they have no students that would come over for tennis. So that was a dissolution of that agreement. We then moved to personnel. The board approved the slate of fall extracurricular coaches. There's still some openings, so if anyone, if you know of anyone that would be interested, namely in, I believe it was tennis and I think it was volleyball, there was an assistant or two within that. If you have anyone, either fall sports or even winter or spring sports, please contact Mike Schmidt. Not me, Mark Schmidt. It's Mike Schmidt, who is our AD and Dean of Students at the high school, and please let him know, as we are actively pursuing coaches for a variety of areas. The board then approved a licensure with Freshwater for community ed services. We are doing that while Chris Esser is pursuing his community ed licensure. We operate off of Jerry Neslin's community ed licensure. Item 38 was reducing Huck Holst's contract. This was actually some work I've done with Norby Klimek and Huck Holst at the Transportation Department, and we're moving Norby to full-time, which is the next agenda item, and Huck to 2 hours a day. And that is a cost-neutral shift, and that begins to allow Norby to take more of a leadership role within our transportation department. So we are thankful for Huck in the years of service, and wishing Norby the best in his move to more of a supervisory managerial role within the transportation department. Norby is going to do an excellent job. The board then approved the resignation of Kelly Smithley, and we wish Kelly all the best of luck in her future endeavors. The board then, the next item was a fair amount of discussion. It was a leave request from Julie Mertens. Julie Mertens was offered a position at NJPA, the service cooperative, to do, I believe it's called the technology integrationist. Julie asked for a leave of absence, and the dialogue of the board was, if in the danger of over-summarizing, is why would the board provide her a leave of absence where for other employees it's been required that they take a resignation, or they submit a resignation. If you're going to take a new job, you need to resign from your old one and go into that new position wholeheartedly. Excuse me. So that was one component of that. That discussion. The other component was that this is a unique job, and that assuming she does come back in a year, that she would be a far stronger teacher in being able to be exposed to a variety of technology applications and usages within schools in the region, and it would be a great asset to our district and students upon her return in a year. But that was, I think, that kind of the basic of the crux of that dialogue. The board did finally take a vote, and they voted to allow her leave of absence, and I believe the vote was on a 4-2 vote to approve that leave. So we certainly wish Julie the best of luck in that endeavor. The board then approved a .34 position resignation from Greg Robinson. Greg was placed, the rest of his time was placed on unrequested leave due to our budget reductions. Greg has accepted a job in another school district. So in order to do that, he needed to resign from his current .34 position. The board then approved a contract for Susan Estabrooks Anderson. Susan Estabrooks Anderson is going to be our director for the Little Cardinals Academy in Motley. That's the new preschool that is opening over there. And if you're interested in enrolling your students, please call or a child, or know of anyone, please call the district office, and we can direct you to Susan to take care of that. Next, the board approved a state required policy 807 regarding health and safety. That policy gives us some definition on how we maintain our facilities and keeps us eligible for health and safety levies. Finally, the board passed some resolutions regarding upcoming election, both for school board, both setting the November resolution, which is going to take place in the general election this year, or an even year election, and then establishing the filing dates for school board election. And that filing, I don't have it in front of me, but I believe filing starts at the end of this month and goes, I think, maybe through the middle of August. But you can certainly call the district office, talk to Bonnie Manson if you have any questions or interest in pursuing that. And then finally, the board approved a resolution designating Bonnie as the official clerk to represent the official clerk. So that allows her to do the duties of the clerk for the most part, other than signatures and those formal type of things, versus a board member. The board then went to a variety of reports and adjourned for the evening. Thank you very much, everyone, and have a wonderful rest of July and August. Take care.